Why not just throw Mark Wahlberg out there as Moses? You know, why not? Hey there, little boy Jesus, say hi to your mother for me. Come on, slaves, let's part the Red Sea. We're gonna outrun the wind. Next time I see Ramses, I'm gonna go head body, head body, head body, head body, Saul Manby.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it.
There's a shoe purse underneath Hawk. That's what you get when you live with kids. Real quick guys, before we start the video, I do want to let you know about something new I'm doing. It won't affect Wham, I'm still doing We Watched a Movie. I'm not going Peter Chris or anything on you guys, but I have started another channel called The Dad Signal. And it's just me and my daughter hanging out, watching movies, doing Blu-ray reviews, doing toy reviews, all the awesome stuff that we grew up loving as kids that we can share with our kids today, that we can both enjoy together. Kind of reviews from both sides of it. You don't have to be a dad, you don't even have to be a parent. We're both big, huge dorks, and we're just going to be reviewing stuff, and it's something fun to do. So if you guys would help us get that off the ground, we just now started, threw up our first video, so if you could subscribe to that, like it, share it, all that good stuff, I'd really appreciate it. On to the review. I'm Mike. Jay couldn't be here for this one, but you know what? He didn't miss that much. Let's talk about Exodus, Gods and Kings. By Exodus, I don't mean the sushi food poisoning I got last week. That was a horror film. So it's going to be a spoiler review, guys. Not that the story of Moses in the Bible isn't, you know, well known or anything. Let's get the whole religion thing out of the way real quick. There's several reasons why I'm just going to review this as a movie and not a biblical movie, because, well, for one, did you see Noah? I'm not well versed enough in the biblical stuff to be able to say this is different, the Bible said this said this, and really I don't want to do that. That's not a battle I want to get into. It's just, we don't do that stuff here. What am I doing with my hands? Look, jazz fingers. Let's just talk about this movie as a movie, if we can. I'm just a silly guy who dances for the camera and tries to make you laugh with shitty movie reviews, so I'm not the guy you want to talk about, you know, religion to. Now that that issue is settled, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around John Turturro as a Egyptian pharaoh, considering I can't look at him and help. Where do I know that guy from? Among many other things, a guy who in Transformers was like, she's a criminal. Criminal's hot. It's just weird, like, so let's just throw the casting thing out the door, because this whole thing is just messed up. And Christian Bale as Moses is brother to Ramses, who's Joel Edgerton, and their dad, Seti, John Turturro. They're dealing with this war with the Hebrews who they've kept in slavery. Seti seems to favor Moses a little bit more, even though he's not his blood son, he's his stepson. He seems to favor him a little bit more. He likes his temperament in battle, he's not such a dick. Ramses starts to notice this, even though he's heir to the throne. He starts to get this deep-seated jealousy. Peppered with respect, you can tell he's starting to not like him so much and he's going to do some bad stuff. Yeah, if it sounds like I just described the plot of Gladiator to you, it's because I did. So fast forward past random wasted shots of Sigourney Weaver and Jesse Pinkman with a beard. Ben Kingsley, who plays a Hebrew named Nun, or Noon, or however, there's different ways to say these names, I don't know. He gets the ear of Moses and says, hey, by the way, you're Hebrew, you're adopted, you're not even Egyptian. Sorry, I know you thought you were rich and everything was good, but you're supposed to be the one that leads us out of slavery and leads us to freedom. Ramses hears about this, and there's this really good scene there where Christian Bale stops him from hurting somebody, and it's like this intense thing, and Christian Bale's like, yes, it's true, and there's like this intensity, and there's really good acting in this movie from both Bale and Edgerton. They're standalone, they're good in this film. Like, Bale, his accent might flutter here and there, but he's intense, he's got that Batman thing going on, but not too Batman like Terminator Salvation, you know, he's not over there like, when Ramses asks him, like, who did you talk to? He's not like, God! His intensity is perfect for this role. I thought he did a good job, but I thought Edgerton stole the film. I thought he was the best actor in the movie. Not overall, just in this particular movie. I thought Edgerton surprised me. He played a dick really, really well. The intensity between those two is really good in this scene, and then all of a sudden the film just jumps. You've got this moment where it's this big revelation. Moses admits that he's supposedly Hebrew or whatever, and all of a sudden we just go, brink, scene, and Moses is being exiled. I mean, it just seems like they skipped a really interesting conversation there. And this movie has timing issues galore. So they throw us out, and now, after random shots of Ridley Scott just jerking off to himself, showing like landscape after landscape after wide shot, Moses is exiled, and he's in the middle of the desert. He gets married, he has a son, he teaches him how to throw a rock, he has a vision of God, who's this little boy. They bring God in as this kind of like angry little boy, is how Ridley Scott chose to portray God, which, again, we're not going to go into the religious thing, that's just what he did. Christian Bale decides, okay, I guess I am supposed to be a leader. A shitload more random shots of the scenery, Ridley Scott, Christian Bale's horse dies, of course, because he tires him out. Again, gladiator. All of a sudden, it's like Robin Hood. He's like their general. He's teaching them how to shoot bows and arrows and hang sideways off horses. And it's like, is this man in tights? What the hell's happening with this movie? There's even a scene specifically where Ridley Scott has Moses say to his son, don't ever just say what people want to hear. And it almost seems like he's saying that to the audience. He's saying, this is my version of this, eat it. All the plagues start happening. Now the plagues bring me into the special effects conversation of this movie because it's 2014, you got this epic movie, buttloads of money spent on it, and you throw in all this crazy stuff in the trailer, like this giant wave and these tornadoes and this big war scene that looks like it's going to happen. You got the whole Moses thing, the parting of the Red Sea, how the Red Sea became the Red Sea, which they do this cool thing with the alligators where they just go in and just tear everything to crap, and then, you know, all the blood is what makes the sea red. That looked cool. Again, you could see the CGI from a mile away. It'd be cool if they just took more time, just do some practical stuff. The locusts. When the locusts show up and they come in as that plague, it looks cool sometimes. There's a couple shots there, it's like, wow, that looks scary. But then they'll go right to a shot where it's obvious CGI, just playing the whole screen. That looks like I'm watching The Mummy again. It wasn't fucking Leprechaun in space or anything, but at the same time, it's 2014. You spent all this money on this movie. You're supposed to wow us with it, Ridley Scott. Prometheus looked great, I thought. And this movie just like, I feel like he just got this movie because he needed a story. So he's like, oh, that sounds like something I can put a bunch of special effects on. Let's do that story. Which is a mistake to begin with, if you ask me. And that's why this movie didn't feel like it also had any emotion in it. It didn't feel like he cared about this movie. I really don't think that the most emotional reaction I was supposed to have was supposed to be to Ramses, who's supposed to be the dickhead, having his son die. The big battle, when you see it in the trailer, they're both riding towards each other, they're pissed off, got the tornadoes in the back, it looks like, oh, this movie's gonna be epic. It's exactly, what's in the trailer is exactly the same thing that's in the movie. They never get to each other, there's never this awesome battle scene, and then the most disappointing miracle, Moses supposedly parted the Red Sea. He didn't do anything. It was just, they got up there and he's like, we're gonna go, it's shallow, let's move. And they're like, okay, no special, no, just nothing. And then of course you got just this quick little ending that was just like, oh, film's over? I mean, even though I know the story, it's like, just that didn't do anything for me. I do the Ten Commandments thing and he's writing on the board and then he's in the hut and you know, baby God backs away from him, baby Jesus. You see Christian Bale's face get sad, and the movie ends. I thought this movie was poorly edited, I thought it was poorly timed, I thought it was poorly paced. For that, it gets a 5 out of 10 for me. That's it though. I thought that movie was misguided. I'm not sure what it was trying to say. It's just such a lackluster everything, just all over the place. There's no emotion in this movie whatsoever. And you know, like I said before, I shouldn't feel worse for Ramses than I do for Moses. You know, the film plays him as the bad guy, or do they? I don't even know. Are they trying to say something? I don't give a crap, man. I didn't go to the movie for that. And do not see this movie in 3D, whatever you do. I literally took my glasses off during the big wave tornado scene just to take a quick gander at it, and it literally looked better without the 3D. Joel Edgerton, I thought he was awesome in this film. I thought he was awesome in Warrior. Tell me, if you guys could see him being in the Marvel DC universe, who would you have him playing? Down below, let me know. I'm Mike, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Saw Manby.